All right, well, in the 2 minutes that I have left before lunchtime, I was involved in a project with MicroMedical. That's our main manufacturer of vestibular equipment, VNG systems. And they were writing new software, and they wanted a consultant on that. And I said, well, I'll be one of your consultants, provided you have your meetings in good places. I don't want to go to Chicago or Minneapolis in the winter. And so they said, well, we can have meetings in Key West. I said, that's good. We had another one in Barcelona. That was good. Anyway, we were trying to come up with the best possible VNG system in the world. What would you do? Well, they were using guys like me that had just been around long enough where we saw everything that was ever there. We know the good, bad, and ugly about them, and tried to come up with what is the best possible, most efficient VNG system. So I'm just going to give you some of the highlights. This is MicroMedical's new software. And it has a touch screen, and it was designed for a touch screen. So it's very easy to work the software with never touching the mouse at all on a touch screen. It makes it where it's very intuitive, very, very quick, right? And of course, we wanted to be able to customize the protocols. So any protocol that you want, you can do it. It has the ultimate capability to make custom protocols. You want to put a head shake test in, anything that you want to do, you can put in there very, very easily. If you had no instruction at all, it's so intuitive in ways to actually make custom protocols. You might have several clinicians and they each want to do it differently. You can make a different protocol for each one. Another nice thing about it is we put in audio cues. And so we can actually set this up so that during a test, it'll cue you when the test starts by actually saying start test. And then if we're running the test for, say, 30 seconds, it'll say 30 seconds. And then when it gets to 15 seconds, it'll go 15 seconds. Then when it gets to 10 seconds, 5 seconds, and then it beeps when it's done. We can have it just beep at different intervals or actually say how many seconds are left. We wanted that in there because we thought it was a helpful thing. We also put an extra camera, a situational camera in, so that you can actually record what the patient's doing. You have a video of the patient, and you're going to hear the audio of what they're saying and what the clinician is saying. And that's kept where it's very easy to get to the patient videos. So every part of the test, whether it was a caloric or a Hall pike or you were doing saccades or whatever, you can actually see what the patient was doing and hear what they were saying and hear what the clinician was saying. Very easy to get to, very easy to share with someone else. Another thing is auto-fixation. You know, sometimes the only time you're able to test fixation suppression, right, visual fixation suppression, is drawing the calorics. When all of a sudden you're able to say to the patient, okay, I'm going to put a red light on inside of the goggles, I want you to look at that. And then watch their nystagmus decrease. But the problem is that what's the best time to do it? You don't want to do it when the nystagmus is at its peak, because you have to measure the slow phase velocity at the peak of the nystagmus response. So we have it where it's automatically now. It automatically determines when is the peak, and about 10 seconds after the peak, it puts the fixation light on in the goggles and leaves it on for 10 seconds, and then it perfectly calibrates the visual fixation suppression ratio for you. So it makes that test totally automatic and very, very effective. Because the strongest indicator you have of central pathology is the failure of fixation suppression. And a lot of times, the only time you can test it is during the caloric, and you either forget to do it, or by the time you do it, the nystagmus is gone, because you don't want to do it too early. This determines when is the optimal time and does it automatically. We thought that was a good feature. And of course, the feature of a very large external TV. We have them that are even 60 inches in diagonal measures. And so they're gigantic. The patient is only 36 inches in front of it. It fills up their whole visual field, and you get perfect optokinetic responses from it. And when you're not doing oculomotor testing, then you got the two giant eyeballs right in front of you that you couldn't miss from the other side of the room. And you can see anything, rotary response or anything like that. So that's a great thing. MicroMedical has always had that, and we made it even bigger on the new software. And then when you're done, everything, there's a great list of everything that you've done. The ones that are abnormal have a big red diamond on them that they're abnormal. And you can decide what you want to print on the printout, you know. You might want to print only the abnormal responses. Don't bother printing the ones that are normal. Just do the abnormal ones where you can filter them like that and decide immediately what prints and what doesn't print. We thought about how do you start the system when you're doing a hall pike, for example. Both of your hands are on the patient. And okay, now turn your head all the way to the right. I'm going to take you down. Don't worry. Here we go. You ready? 1, 2, 3. Down we go. Right? So how do you start the recording? Well, yeah, there's a remote, so you can start it by a remote, but you have that hanging on a lanyard around your neck, and you can't get at it. Both of your hands are on the patient. Oh, you could have a foot pedal. And this system comes with the remote and the foot pedal for people who like foot pedals. I always lost the foot pedal. Where is it? I need it now, and it's underneath the table or something. But they were brilliant. They put a button on the goggles that you can easily put your finger on. So when you've got your hands occupied on the patient and you want to start the recording of the system, you just hit this button that's on the goggles there. And once you just take a little bit of practice, that's what I use because that's great. So 3 different ways to start the system. We made sure that was in there. And then when we're playing back the video, if we recorded a video during the session, we want the playback to be excellent, where we can just go frame by frame and watch it very slowly or very quickly. And we want to know, for everything that we see the eyes do, where is it? So we have a cursor that follows it. Whatever you see here, you know exactly what it is in the trace down here. So I wanted to make sure that was there. And lastly, all those videos that you might take from the patient, they're kept so you can easily see the video that I did during the nystagmus test, the video that I did during the spontaneous test, the video I did during the hall pike test. Easy to find, not where is it? I did videos, but now I can never find them. And we have this all working in what they call auto access, which is Interacoustics, and it's integrated for Grayson Stadler as well. So any of their products, whether it's an audiometer, tympanometer, Evoke Potential, or VNG, or VHIT, all of their systems working under the same database, and that database is very easily integrated with electronic medical records because we know that everybody wants that. Well, that's all I had. If there is any questions, if not, we're done. Thanks, guys.